Hey everyone, it's your most wholesome me boy on the internet, aka Rafa, and I got a little request here as I was informed about a video that I feel like I should have reacted to about 6 days ago. It just was not on my radar. I don't know why I didn't receive any notification for it, but to show you guys what it is, we've got a dev diary. May 2020 gameplay reveal for League of Legends Wild Rift. Now, if you guys don't remember, Wild Rift, when we took a look at it back at the Riot Please 10th anniversary announcement back in last October, one of the projects among, more TFT Set 2 related content as well as Set 3, the introduction of Valorant coming. And now Valorant is out live, and it's an awesome game, by the way. We've also had Legends of Runeterra come out, and I think that's it in terms of the big things. Also, we still have a fighters game on the way, and potentially some type of dungeon crawler or MMO. We're not too sure on that. Also, Arcane, the anime series is obviously there's a lot of things that is happening with Riot Please, but specifically, when they mentioned Wild Rift is basically the mobile/console version of League of Legends. Because obviously they cannot make a port of League of Legends for mobile and have you being able to play on mobile as the same rank as the one on PC. That's a giant grief, right? So, but it's okay. It is completely okay. We are going to get a mobile version that hopefully will introduce new people to the world of League of Legends, lore of Runeterra, in a more accessible way. And I believe that is exactly what we're going to get with this video. You've got sections. We got intro with Michael. We got BR and PH Android alpha details. So I guess it's for Android first. Champion is an update with David. Gameplay overview with Jonathan, and then skins overview with Christina, and the outro. So, they laid it down for us. They got the timestamps and everything. So let's get into this video. I will try not to pause too often because it is a 14-minute and 18-second video. But if you're along here for the ride, because we are getting into some heavy stuff, it's going to be, I'm super excited. In fact, I might even switch to this because I don't know if you guys want to see more of this, or if you guys want to see more of this. We will test run with this. Just let me know in the comment section below. I've mostly been doing this because this is mostly for reactions, mostly. But, if in the future you would prefer more of this, just let me know. I'm down with either way. I am not opposed to either or. Just let me know. All right, enough of that. Let's get into this video.
Michael Chow here.
What's up, Michael?
You're all doing well.
I'm doing well, man.
Taking care of yourselves and taking care of someone else.
Yeah.
Even if you're apart.
Okay.
I have been eagerly awaiting this chance to talk to you guys about Wild Rift.
Hell yeah.
I'm thrilled to announce we're beginning to roll out our first round of large-scale testing starting next week.
Next week?
Our very first test is
a
2-week alpha
man.
in Brazil and the Philippines. Just on mobile. Starting with the folks who pre-registered.
Oh, it's only Brazil and Philippines. Wow. You know what? That's fine. You know what? It's, I would love to be able to test this right away, but the thing is that because we live in NA, if they release this in NA, KR, China, or EU, so many people could potentially bog down the servers and... you have to start with the smaller servers. I think this is fine. Also, considering that the majority of people who are going to be playing this are the ones that either cannot actually play League on a PC. And from what I understand, mobile gaming is a big market in the Philippines because not everyone has access to a stand-at-home computer, desktop computer, laptop, but everyone's got smartphones, and this game is for smartphones. So that's just the way it is. That's what it is right now. And this is one way to capture a market that is not currently accessible or in high demand for Riot Games right now.
During League's 10-year anniversary. This is just a first step, but it's a very important one. And we're eager to expand from there because we need your feedback on some really important things.
Yeah. If they're going to be the
First,
biggest
the
audience,
most
then they
important-
should be the ones primarily giving the feedback, right? And probably the Philippine and Brazil markets are the ones that have the most experience with playing a bunch of mobile games. I know Brazil PUBG Mobile is huge, right? So this will already. I'm liking the layout of how this works because this is your movement, right? This is your movement, and then you just so your left thumb is your movement, and then your right thumb is actually clicking the buttons. So this doesn't look too bad. Like this actually looks pretty neat.
Importantly, cheats and cheaters.
Yeah.
So check your email if you pre-registered.
That I mean that's why they need to check Brazil and Philippines first. They're using it because I mean so not only they're the ones that had the best experience and the ones that will benefit the most out of or Riot Games will benefit the most from actually attracting an audience to this platform or this title Wild Rift for mobile market gaming, but also that it's a good testing ground too. Like they would rather if there's like bugs and things they need to fix, they would rather release it in smaller regions that are not of as importance to Riot Games in terms of like losing interest. If they release a beta product to NA or KR and it's really crappy, NA and KR are probably not going to have as much interest once Wild Rift comes back to live and once it's been quote unquote fixed. They want the first impression to stay there, whereas they think Philippines and Brazil will be more forgiving. So just trying to understand it from Riot's business perspective. It's not necessarily the most like sincere, but business is not always sincere, which sucks. I wish that you didn't have to sacrifice ethical means or just like decency stuff, but sometimes you just have to be straight up and blunt. When it
We're
comes
excited
to
get you into the game. And to prepare for that, we're going to give you a peek at what we're up to with updates from across the team.
All right, let's see. So we already saw stuff like Kamil, Fiora, Jax, Blitzcrank, Annie, right? And Olaf. Those champions look good. Even the graphic quality is not bad. Like it looks like when you're playing at least on medium or medium high quality on normal desktop. I mean, because like League of Legends is not necessarily the most like graphics intensive game anymore. Like yeah, it's gotten a lot of visual updates, but it was never like Witcher 3 or some other like high intensity detail oriented game. But it still looks nice on mobile.
Hi everyone, I'm David Xu, the product manager for Champions on Wild Rift. We talked about Champions a while ago, and our philosophy remains simple. We want to retain the feel of your favorite champions so they are authentic to what you know from League, and we only look for changes where it makes sense. Like
damn, this Olaf got dicked. It didn't seem like he had a lot of fun.
Wild Rift's faster game pacing, our slightly smaller map, or to adjust for the dual stick controls.
Slightly smaller map.
Now,
Is it
you're
a
probably
smaller
wondering
map?
who has made it into the alpha roster. So we put together a little something to show you who made the cut this time around.
Yeah, Ari, Master Yi, Lux, Annie, Garen. I feel like most of these champions are just going to be like they're not necessarily like champions that are quote unquote easy, but there's no way that they're putting in like Yasuo or Akali or I think if the most skill intensive champions are going to be the ones that like not necessarily have like they can have abilities that just like destroy your visual graphics processing. So like they can't put in Mordekaiser because the Death Realm is probably that has to be explored on like we're still having problems with some PCs processing Death Realm on PC And then trying to input that into mobile sounds like a nightmare. Silas probably can't do it either, because then you have to code that Silas is channeling a similar ultimate to everyone else. You probably can't do stuff like... You can't do Fiddlesticks. So any new champions cannot be in there. But I am honestly thinking a lot of the champions going to be on here are the ones that you get from the starter bundle when you first join League. And there's like that, like... Do you guys remember the old 1350 RP like starting bundle? So you got like Ash, Garen, Annie, Blitzcrank, Sivir, Kale, I think, Alistar, Amumu, all those champions. Garen, Fiora. Fiora is like a skill-intensive champion, but not because like her skills are quote-unquote hard to use, but it's the decision-making and it's the execution that is the skill ceiling, right? Oh, Vi's in there. That's super cool. Yeah, there's Blitzcrank. Kamil, once again, another champion that, like, Kamil is a champion that not necessarily like, oh, yeah, like, wow, that looks like, quote-unquote, skill shots are extremely hard, but it's just the decision timing and being able to understand how much damage you can actually take and when your stats are good. And Ezreal, Janna. So, like, there's definitely fun champions on here if you want to be more skill intensive. Like, Ezreal's all skill shots. Kamil, you know, you can definitely hookshot flash, right? So, Nami, Soraka, Janna, Blitzcrank are the support so far. Nasus is in here. Braum is another support in here. That's sick. Misfortune. Graze. Oh, baby. Okay. Jinx. Wow. There's the Alistar. There's Olaf as well. Oh, Caracas. Jax. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Malphite has to be in there. Like, there's no excuse not to. Wow. Oh, cool. Shyvana. I mean, yeah, she's relatively easy to code. Really? We get Acel and Wild Rift? Cool. Okay. But no one plays him on normal PC. But I mean, yeah, it shouldn't be too hard on mobile. I actually think that maybe Acel is slightly easier on mobile versus PC because you have to constantly move if you're... Because it's now a control stick. And then when you think about it, to make those precise movements on Acel, you have to click in such an erratic way to position yourself so that you're hitting stars. But control stick in that sense, when you're making circular movements a lot, it's a lot easier, right? I might be wrong in how I'm processing this, but in my mind, it sounds great. We get Fizz. I remember this from the teaser. Yeah, Ashe, obviously. Tryndamere, obviously. Fate, yeah, that could work. Vayne. No, we saw her in the gameplay. Xin Zhao, obviously. You know, I think it's cool that they... What? We do get Yasuo! Oh, time for me to int again and get my 0-10 death power spike. I love playing Yasuo. Yasuo's so fun. Even though I'm a jungle main, anytime I play solo lane, it's like, all right, I'm locking Yasuo. Even if I'm playing bot lane, it's like, I don't feel like playing an AD carry. I'm locking in Yasuo, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's so cool. I'm glad that Yasuo makes the alpha roster. I mean, because you also need some exciting champions so that people are going to be like, okay, yeah, we start with Annie, but then I get to work up to Zed and Yasuo and Vayne. And so, oh, that's so cool.
This lineup is just the start.
Yeah, it's just the start. So, champions that, didn't make the cut that are like Akali, Aurelia, trying to think of others. Kindred, Nidalee. I am sad that Nidalee didn't make the roster, but still, I mean, it's fine. Lee Sin didn't make the roster either, so no insect flash plays on on mobile. But this is fine. This is
lots more.
This is a good roster. I think it has the important thing is that there's a plethora of easy champions but different play styles, so that people who are playing League for the first time, because that's obviously where the market is going to be, you are attracting a bunch of mobile gamers who have probably never played League of Legends before. They may have seen it, but they've never experienced a MOBA before. Or maybe they have. Maybe they played one of those League of Legends cheap ripoffs, right? But they have never played League of Legends itself. So, being able to incorporate a variety of, supports, tanks, marksmen, fighters, mages that can... Actually, I think the only mages that I remember seeing were Ahri, Annie, Asol, and Orianna. I don't think I saw another mage in that lineup. I think that's the only one that's lacking. Oh, no, Ziggs. Okay, you got Ziggs. So Ziggs is fine. But a lot of it was mostly marksmen and fighters. And I guess one assassin from Zed. I don't think there's any other assassins. Right? No Kha'Zix, no Nocturne. Nocturne could have been easy. You could have done that, potentially. Yeah, that... Just trying to think in my head, right? Yeah, it's a majority fighters. Which I think it makes sense, though, because if you're going back to appealing to new players are going to want to look at, you have to attract them with easy champions so that it doesn't take that many games or reps to start understanding the game, because you never want to be bogged down. And for those that want to climb, I'm not someone to look to when talking about climbing and how to be best climb. There's clearly other YouTubers and channels that will tell you what is the best way to climb. But my philosophy is you should not bog yourself down with a champion's learning curve and their individual mechanics. You should worry more about actually learning how to play the game, and not just you fight this person, you take a turret, you win the game by taking all the turrets. No, decision making at all stages in the game. At what point is it better to go for a fight than it is to just back off and wait until an item power spike comes up, or waiting until a certain objective comes up? Because fighting with a purpose is better than just fighting. If you want to talk strategy and macro sense, that is always the question. If you fight just for the sake of I want to kill this guy, sure, that's fun in a casual sense. But if you want to win the game, if you're just fighting and you're just killing a guy over and over, that's cool and everything. You've gotten 10 kills, but what have you done with it, really? Have you gotten anything off the map? Have you taken a dragon? Have you taken the Rift Herald? Have you taken a turret? No? Then you're just a walking bounty, then waiting for the enemy team to come up and then kill you. I've seen many times in my solo queue games where a solo laner gets super fed, and it's great, can we push for this? No, I'm going to back and get another item. Okay, fine. We'll play on your item power spike. He kills his solo laner again. Okay, now can we take dragon? Nah, I'm going to recall. I'm going to push my wave, and I'm going to recall. It's bro, just take something off the map. You have the advantage. I'm sorry, ran over. It's bleeding over. Back to Wild Rift.
Near future. Wild Rift features a dual-stick control scheme that we hope feels natural to mobile and console veterans. We have spent a lot of time building on that foundation with a focus on responsiveness.
I wonder how this works on console. So, one button obviously has to be the auto attack. Actually, I don't know. Wait, so obviously there's skill shots because you... Wait. Okay, so you're moving with the left control stick, and then to aim a skill shot, you have another thing, right? But how does that work with console? Because it makes sense on mobile platform because you're getting an extra control stick on each of the button interfaces. But how does that work on a PS4 controller or an Xbox One controller? Do you have to oh god. I wonder if the best way to do it is if to assign the skill buttons to the triggers. Because if you're moving while you're trying to move a skill shot with your right with your right thumbstick and you're moving with your left thumbstick, how are you supposed to press the X triangle, square, or circle button, or if in Xbox case, the X, A, B, or Y button at the same time? Like, how do you do that? You can't. Like, unless you press a button and then it asks, okay, and then it's like it's not quick cast, right? It's more like, oh, you press the button and then you have to move the control stick to like ready up your skill shot, maybe. But I would feel like it would feel more fluid if you were doing it with triggers. Because think about it. You have your Q, W, E, R, right? And so while you're walking, you can hold the Q as you're positioning the stick. And then when you release the Q, boom, it goes off. Because I'm a smart cast player or a quick cast. Because it's you get things happening more. And that just seems really hard if you're doing with the button, right? Because if you have to do this and then you have to ready up the skill shot, and then like how are you supposed to press the button again to confirm? Unless you use a trigger button to confirm the action, right? I hope that makes sense. It's like there might have to be some type of visual aid, but I don't know how to make a visual aid with this. But TLDW on console, I think the way they need to do it is for skill shots and buttons, they need to use triggers as your ability buttons. And then while holding it down, you can use the right thumbstick to position where you want the ability to go, whether it's a skill shot in a line or if it's a point and click, you use it as an indicator on the screen in front of you, right? So, oh man, then how do you do global ultimates like with Ezreal? Like, can you if your thumb is not on that that thumbstick area, can you pan and zoom around the map? Okay, let's see.
Wild Rift features a dual stick control scheme that we hope feels natural to mobile and console veterans. We have spent a lot of time building on that foundation with a focus on responsiveness and precision.
Wait. Let's run that back, please.
On responsiveness and precision. Control scheme that we hope feels natural to mobile and console veterans. We have spent a lot of time building on that foundation with a focus on responsiveness.
Okay, so yeah, so you can control the Q skill shot because that's like a little mini thing, right? But then the attack
and precision.
I'm assuming it's just being set to auto attack. You're moving your character and then you just auto attack whenever the animation window is available. Wait, when she presses her ultimate, does it? Okay, so see how there's like a small cursor that's being shown when you hold the ultimate? So I guess that cursor will be equal to, how do I explain this? So like, yeah. So let's say when you press this and you start moving to the right, it originates from your character model. So if you want it to be over here, you basically press it and you move up so that the cursor goes up towards the target that you want. Okay.
We have invested a ton into targeting, aiming, and some new tech we're not quite ready to show yet. Now with that in mind, let's take a closer look.
Wait, let's see the Jin part. That might give us a better idea of how auto attacks work.
We have invested a ton into targeting, aiming, and some new tech we're not quite ready to show yet. Now with that in mind, let's take a closer look.
So he's just tapping the auto attack button, but while so basically he's moving into the range of a character, and then he's just spamming auto click so that as soon as the character comes into range, the auto attack goes off.
at a few of
Interesting.
Wild Rift's champions. For Nasus players, we felt it was critical to maintain his infinite scaling raid boss fantasy in Wild Rift. And to do that, we adjusted the speed at which he gains stacks of Siphoning Strike to make sure that he can still ascend in the late game.
Oh, I see. Because Wild Rift, they say, is a smaller map. It didn't seem that way, but they want Wild Rift to also be an accelerated game. They want it to be an accelerated version of League of Legends. So they're looking at like 10 to 15 minute games rather than, between 20. I mean, 15 minute surrenders actually exist in normal, but it could be like a 20-minute game to a 45-minute game. Dear God, hopefully it's not like a 60-minute game either, because those are... I mean, it might be like exhilarating to finally win. Personally, if I'm going past 45 minutes, I'd rather have just lost at 25 minutes so that I could have played another game, to be honest.
For Twisted Fate, we mentioned a couple months ago that wait
a minute.
And to do that, we
all right, so we got some global stuff. That looks sick.
Strike to make sure that he can still ascend in the late game. For
So
Twisted Fate,
yeah, so they obviously have to do some balance changes to suit the pace that they want to have in Wild Rift. Similar how they're doing like balance changes in ARAM and Nexus Blitz and URF so that it feels fun to play despite not being a normal Summoner's Rift game.
A couple months ago that we were polishing up his stack deck to be more than a passive ability. The new version grants our favorite gambler a burst of attack speed, opening up new potential build paths.
Oh, interesting. Wow. So not just like balance changes in terms of, so because it's a faster game, we want to accelerate this person's ability. They're actually going in and changing some of the abilities.
Great.
Interesting.
But we took the opportunity to change Double Up into a skill shot to accommodate
really
controls. And now this also gives the Misfortune players more gameplay opportunities. While some champions, it made sense to make some small adjustments. For Janna, she was a perfect example of a champion that has near identical gameplay from PC.
Right.
For Shyvana, we wanted to push the envelope a little further and really bring out her Dragon Hunter thematic while not adjusting her core gameplay pattern too much. Now, when Shyvana takes a Drake, she gets unique bonuses in Dragon form. For example, killing an Inferno Drake adds some true damage against Scorch enemies.
What?
And a Mountain Drake?
What? But why? Why? Shyvana is like so strong. Like what? She's so good. I'm telling you, she doesn't need any more buffs because if she gets, I know this is not for PC. This is for Wild Rift, but like, she's my secret sleeper free elo. Stop dragging attention to Shyvana. Don't. Let her be the way she is right now. She's plenty strong. It's free.
We'll grant Shyvana a slow on her twin bite.
What?
So,
jokes aside,
as you can see, we are keeping the experience
hilarious.
Pretty close to PC, with a few changes that hopefully better fit our new platforms. We think it will be awesome if you can pick up some of your favorite champions in Wild Rift and
the shockwave is massive. Tidal wave coming in hot, baby.
And now, let's hear more from Jonathan to talk about Wild Rift's core gameplay.
Alright, let's see the core gameplay.
Hey everyone, I'm Jonathan Chow, and I lead the gameplay and
Hi,
balancing
Jonathan.
on Wild Rift.
Okay.
We've got a lot to share with you today, so let's get started.
Yes.
Wild Rift's gameplay will look pretty familiar to league players, so we thought we'd start the same place every league game does. Let's head into Champ Select.
Looking
Just like
neat.
on PC, you can select from a range of summoner spells that give you powerful but limited tools to turn the tide of battle. Smite will be a little different, but we'll get into that later. With Wild Rift's rune system, we're looking to bring the meaningful pre-game...
Did I just see... Oh, that's Ignite. That's Ignite. I thought Smite was giving Grievous wounds, and I was like, hello?
We'll get into that later.
That's great.
With Wild Rift's rune system, we're looking to bring the meaningful pre-game decision-making of Runes Reforged on PC, but streamlined for shorter game sessions. There are 8 keystone runes to choose from, like Electrocute, Airy, and Conquer. You can then pick 3 minor runes to complement your choice. We added a few new minor runes unique to Wild Rift,
So
like Sweet Tooth, which grants you gold
Yeah.
when you eat honey fruit,
mini
and
runes
Loyalty,
reforged.
which gives you and your lane partner defensive stats when you're close to each other. And this bonus stacks too. You might have figured out some of this already from our previous gameplay clips, but let's talk about some of the features of our map, which is called Wild Rift.
There are 3 lanes in the rift. Pick one and push forward.
Just looks like
Defeat
Summoner's
the enemy
Rift.
turrets and Nexus
How is
to
this
win.
smaller? Is there no inhibitors? Is that what you're telling me? It doesn't look like there's inhibitors. Okay, so it's just turrets. That's fine. Oh, look at that. We get this. Okay. Flipped map. Wait. What do you mean flipped map? What do you... Huh? Flipped map? Wait. Wait, that's so weird, though. Wait. So, this is what's happening IRL in real time, but why is it flipped? Oh, I see. Because they probably don't want to have to do the coding of showing the other side of the rift from an ally's perspective. Like the right side will always be the enemy's side, and you will always spawn on the left side. However, what determines whether you are first pick or second pick in the draft, or if you're like a reality blue side or red side, is what happens when you are blue team or red team. You'll be flipped. So bottom lane will actually be top lane, and top lane will actually be bottom lane. To me, that's like really weird, but like I can understand if this is the shortcut they have to take so that it's for right now, so that they don't have to worry about coding the perspective from the right side of the map, and that it will always be the enemy side. Late game. Oh, evolved Bramblebath? Oh, and this one gives you HP mana regen instead of, because red buff used to give HP. What gives HP and damage slow, whereas this blue would give cooldown and mana, but now it's just HP mana, and the red is more damage. Okay. Late game regeneration. Okay, very cool. Yeah, Scryer's Bloom is in the game. Is there even a mini-map? It doesn't seem like there's a mini-map. Yeah, there's no mini-map. How are you supposed to check? We get Blast Cone. Oh my god. So there's no Nexus turrets. It's just the Nexus is a turret itself. Interesting. So yeah, I have all 4 dragons. Mountain Cloud. Oh, I see. So there's Elder Dragon. There's Elemental Elder Dragons. Okay. You got the wards. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. So when you buy a ward, or if you have a ward in your trinket, it just shows up here, right? I'm assuming items also appear here, because I saw a Righteous Glory icon. Excuse me. Talking too much. I mean, it doesn't look that small. I mean, look, they even, maybe this won't be a camp. So like, blue buff, blue Gromp, and wolves. I mean, is it really smaller? Doesn't seem smaller. It just looks slightly different. I guess it actually is kind of smaller, because normally this would be far more up. It just looks like the jungle's been compressed a bit, but there's still 2 turrets per lane, right? It's just there's no inhibitors and there's no Nexus turrets. but they're still neutral objectives.
Wild Rift still has all the phases of a League game that you would expect, but shortened to 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
From last hitting and trading in the laning phase, to setting up the perfect gank, to fighting over that crucial dragon,
Very cool.
to clutch team fights.
Oh! Oh! I lost. Oh. I'm sorry. But you can't tell me you don't react like that when you see a beautiful wombo combo. That was Malphite. That was unstoppable force into shockwave, into bullet time. Like, just take me right now. Oh my god. I'm sorry. That was beautiful.
For junglers, you can now choose whether you want Challenging Smite or Chilling Smite after you finish off 4 major jungle camps. That
What?
way, you can get straight into ganking as soon as you're ready. You can expect to find many in-game items you'll know from PC, which can only be bought in the fountain. While the number and tuning of items may be
Okay.
different, their purpose is almost identical. For instance, Rabadon's Death Cap is still the go-to item for stacking.
What was that item?
For instance,
Awakened Soul Stealer. Unique takedowns reduce the cooldown of your ultimate by 3%, capping at 3% after... Capping at, I'm assuming, 15%? Okay. Okay.
Rabadon's Death Cap is still the go-to item for stacking up your ability power.
Bruh. You didn't have to do
Trinity
Lux
Force
like
still
that.
deals tons of damage.
Tons of damage, baby.
We also need feedback on our new Tier of the Goddess item designed for tanks. It's called Fimbulwinter,
What?
and it'll grant you a shield when you crowd control someone.
What? Wait, that you've brought back Strength of the Colossus, right? Anytime you do, wasn't Strength of the Colossus where anytime you did any type of crowd control effect or displacement effect, you would get a shield equal to your max HP?
It also features many familiar active items, but each player
Redemption.
can only purchase one. These active effects are now bought as a 3rd tier for boots, and you can mix and match any upgrade with any boot type. Support players might want to pick up the
you can use Proto Build as a dash enchantment? Bro, that's crazy.
You can mix and match.
Quicksilver enchant. Oh, why can't we have that on normal PC? Locket enchant? Glorious enchant? Yo.
Any upgrade with any boot type. Support players might want to
this is
pick up
cool.
the Redemption
This
enchant,
is so dope.
and tanks can grab the Stone Plate for extra resistances. Or maybe you'll want to try something that's totally different.
But
We've added a quick buy pop-up
Zonia,
for when you
AP
really need
Ash.
to get back to
Bring it
lane
back.
quickly, too.
Bring back the AP Ash. Hey, oh, there's the map. It's in the top left. Why weren't they showing the map before? That's really cringe. I feel like I was being bamboozled. Oh, and you get to see your gold, and then I saw the items showing up here. Wow. 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 Okay, I'm gonna stop with the Owen Wilson cringe shit. Yo, but this is cool. The more that they're unveiling, the more I'm like buying into the possibility of this being super legit.
We've built Wild Rift's gameplay with depth and strategy in mind. We want this to be a
So
MOBA
how
that's
come the
easy-
minimap doesn't show up here? Is it because are you able to disable the minimap and items at certain points in the game? Or is it just a feature? I don't know. Maybe it's just for demonstration purposes.
easy to pick up with friends, with a high ceiling for mastery, so we're hoping the core 5v5 experience lives up to your expectations. Speaking of 5v5, the regional alpha also has co-op versus AI available to practice your skills, a tutorial that covers controls and abilities, and we're looking to add new modes after.
Bro, where's this updated tutorial in normal PC? I feel like some people still need this, man. I'm just kidding. but like that's so cool that and you can see why Wild Rift is very much targeted towards bringing in an audience that has not played League of Legends yet at all. At all. This is supposed to be the mini condensed version of a League of Legends Summoner's Rift experience. And if you're able to grab them through the mobile gaming experience, then maybe when they go to PC, the jump is not as big for them. And then that's where you can truly get them immersed into the experience of League of Legends.
After launch, alpha players can even test the rank system, which we've designed to retain the core competitive spirit of League, with a few adaptations for new
I'm going to be challenger on Wild Rift. How much does that translate into normal League of Legends?
platforms. We'll talk more about this at a later date. That's all from me. Now let's talk about skins.
We get skins too? This early
Hi, I'm
on?
Christina One, and I'm the product lead for personalization on Wild Rift. Now we know typically when it comes to monetization, mobile games have a lot going against them, with things like business models that force you to pay to play,
Yeah.
wait timers, tons of annoying pop-ups. Don't really love that experience, so we're not going to do that. We want to
Thank you.
offer you a range of ways in which
Thank
you
you.
can express yourself, whether that's customizing your profile, showing off after you've outplayed someone, or using your favorite skins. So we're committing
Cowboy
to
Misfortune.
following the business model from League PC, meaning
Okay.
you can earn all champions for free and
Yeah.
paying is optional. It's not a core part of the game, and it should never feel like you're forced into it.
Yeah.
All right, with all that said, let's look at some skins.
Fire Ari. Battle Boss Blitzcrank. Demon Slayer Vi, or Demon Vi. Secret Agent Zinzao. Cowboy Misfortune. Glacial Malphite. Yeah. Arclight Vane. Very cool. Oh, High Noon Jin, baby. It's High
There are many
Noon.
more skins on the way, and
That's exciting. It's really exciting. I think the biggest thing that concerns me, how does this translate to console? But we have to focus from the mobile perspective of things, because I know that they want to eventually be able to get this to console. But thankfully, while that's my biggest concern, it's also not something that's going to be present for quite some time. Now, if they want to get it out sooner than later, then of course they have to address it at a later time, or sooner than later. But for the game itself, overall, from a mobile perspective, it actually looks really good. I'm very pleased with the graphics look not just passable; they look pretty nice for a mobile game. If we even go back to when League of Legends did their text rebranding, and people were like saying like, "Oh man, why are you making it look like a mobile game?" It's because they were getting ready for a mobile game. So like it is what it is. And but from a mobile perspective, the controls, I can say that maybe the attack still feels a little questionable to me, that you're just because I think it's removing some of the skill of like auto attack timing, and not, because it sounds like you're not gonna run into the mistake of canceling auto attacks, which for a new player's perspective seems nice, but for an experienced player, feel like, oh man, like this person would have lost since he cancels autos a lot. I don't know if that's really a big deal, because the point of this game is to be able to attract a new League of Legends audience through mobile gaming and through mobile platforms. So this giving a shortened, more condensed League of Legends experience on a mobile platform, and in a manner that seems pretty user-friendly and intuitive, and by introducing a roster of champions that are not only versatile in playstyle, also pretty easy to pilot, even from the main League of Legends PC experience, but also having some champions that are very fun to play and do have some skill mastery. For example, Zed is in the roster, Yasuo is in the roster, Kamil and Fiora are in the roster as well. Ezreal takes a lot of time as well to master as well, and even some of the AD carries like Vayne and Jinx are pretty mechanically intensive. You have to be careful of where your positioning is. So, you know, that it's going to have a nice short and sweet taste of the whole League of Legends experience, and that is exactly what Riot Games want to do with Wild Rift, right? So, you know, addressing the console thing is going to obviously take a little bit more time. As I said before, I would like if they do my suggestion of using triggers as the ability buttons versus the actual A, B, X, Y, or the square, triangle, X, circle buttons as your ability buttons, because then it's a lot easier to smart cast or quick cast with your right dual thumbstick. But, you know, overall, I'm very excited. Shout outs to Brazil and Philippines, because they're going to be the first ones to take a crack at Wild Rift. I hope that they enjoy the game and that they're able to find and expedite the process of making the game ready so that it can come to NA servers. Because even if I wanted to just travel to Philippines or Brazil just so I could play the game, we can't, because the world is dealing with a pandemic. So we're kind of screwed on global travel right now. So, you know, help us out. Let's get this going so the rest of the world can take a crack at Wild Rift too. But hopefully you guys like the content. Leave a comment below. What are some of your favorite parts about Wild Rift that seems really interesting to you? Whether it is the rebalanced champions in Wild Rift versus PC, whether it's some of the new item enchantments, maybe it's the runes reforged, or something else that I haven't mentioned below. Leave a comment below. If you liked it, obviously hit the like button and hit the bell for more content on the way. Stay safe, stay healthy. I love you all. I'll see you around next time. Oh, Rengar is in the area.
Welcome. Oh, it looks like our Baron is being.
Glad Silas could join us there.
Oh my god.
We're just ending careers here, that's fine.